rain fell hard. Cold drops hit the empty street, washing away the city lights. She crouched by the roadside, shivering. Her thin jacket was soaked. Her shoes had holes. Her hair clung to her face. Her name was Emily, 17, thrown out by her stepmother 2 nights ago. Her father had remarried after her mother's death, and the house that once carried warmth turned into a cage. A cage where she was unwanted. The stepmother's last words still echoed. "Get out. You are nothing but a burden. He's not your father anymore." And so Emily left. No bag, no food, only her school skirt, her mother's old blazer, and the ache of betrayal in her chest. Now in the rain, she hugged her knees. Cars passed. Nobody stopped. Her lips trembled. She whispered to herself, "I have no one." Then, headlights pierced the rain. A sleek black Bentley slowed down. The hum of the engine was deep, powerful, different from the noise of the street. The car stopped. 3 men in suits stepped out first, tall, sharp, each holding black umbrellas. They moved like shadows in rhythm. Behind them, the car door opened. Here appeared Alexander Kane, 35, a man whose name controlled entire markets. A CEO with power and wealth most could only imagine. His tailored suit was untouched by rain. His face was carved with strength, but his eyes carried silence. Emily did not know him. She only saw authority, danger, someone out of reach. But Alexander's gaze fell on her and did not move. He walked closer, his guards behind him. She lowered her head. Fear gripped her. She had heard of rich men who had no heart. She prayed he would pass by, but he stopped. Inches away, his shoes splashed in the water. He looked at her shaking hands, her wet clothes, the despair in her eyes. "Why are you out here?" His voice was calm, deep. Emily bit her lip. She could not speak. The truth hurt too much. Tears slid down her cheeks, hidden by the rain. Alexander exhaled slowly. His hand moved, not to touch her, but to shield her with his umbrella. For the first time in hours, the rain stopped falling on her. "You don't belong on the street," he said. She looked up. His eyes met hers. Strong, yet strangely gentle. Her heart pounded. She whispered, barely audible, "I have nowhere to go." The silence between them was heavy, but in that silence something shifted. Alexander extended his hand, not forced, not demanding, just steady. "Then come with me." Emily hesitated. Every instinct told her not to trust strangers, but something in his eyes felt different. Not pity, not curiosity, something deeper. She placed her trembling hand into his, and that single choice under the pouring rain would change both their lives forever. She stepped inside the Bentley. The leather seat smelled of polish. The warmth of the heater wrapped around her frozen skin. Alexander sat opposite, watching quietly. His guards remained outside. Emily's fingers twisted nervously in her lap. She did not belong here, not in a car worth more than her father's entire house. Alexander finally spoke. "Where's your family?" The question cut deep. Her throat tightened. "They don't want me." His brow furrowed slightly. He did not press further. The car moved. City lights blurred across the windows. Emily stared, silent. The rhythm of the rain lulled her, but her mind raced. Why was he helping her? What did he want? Soon the car entered a gated estate. Massive iron gates opened. Beyond them, a mansion stretched across acres, glass walls glowing against the storm. A world too far from hers. She followed him inside, her steps small, hesitant. Marble floors, crystal lights. Everything shone. Yet she felt smaller with each breath. A maid brought her a towel. Another offered warm clothes. Emily clutched them but whispered, "I can't pay you." Alexander's voice echoed softly from the staircase. "No one asked you to." She glanced at him. His presence filled the hall. Yet there was no arrogance in his tone, only certainty. Later, he sat across from her in a private study. The fire burned behind him. Shadows moved across his sharp features. "Tell me your name," he said. "Emily." He leaned back, watching her closely. "Emily, you are safe here, but safety comes with rules." Her pulse quickened. "What rules?" "No lies. No running away in the night. And no fear of me." She blinked. Why would he say that? Her voice cracked. "Why are you helping me?" He was silent for a moment, his eyes lowered, almost as if he was remembering something. "Because once I was the one left out in the rain." Her chest tightened. For the first time, she saw not just a man of wealth, but someone carrying a shadow of his own. That night, Emily lay in a warm bed for the first time in days. The sheets smelled fresh. The storm outside calmed, but sleep did not come easily. She kept hearing his words. "Once, I was the one left out in the rain." And she wondered, what story did this man hide behind his steel gaze? Days turned into weeks. Emily's life inside the mansion was nothing like the streets she had known. She woke each morning to sunlight spilling through tall glass windows. She ate warm meals at a table where silence felt safer than hunger. She read books from a library bigger than her old house, yet she never forgot that none of it belonged to her. She moved carefully, always polite, always helping staff with chores, though they told her she didn't need to. She carried an invisible weight, the fear that one day she would be told to leave just as before. Alexander remained a mystery. He worked long hours, returning home with shadows under his eyes. He rarely spoke, but when he did, every word carried weight. Sometimes she caught him watching her as if studying her presence, testing if she was real. One evening, she found him alone on the balcony. The city stretched far below, its lights flickering like stars. He stood still, one hand resting on the railing, the other holding a glass of untouched wine. His suit jacket was off, his tie loose, his expression lost in the distance. Emily hesitated. She had learned not to disturb him, but something in the way he stood, shoulders heavy, made her step forward. "Are you all right?" He turned, surprised. Few people asked him that question. After a pause, his voice came low. "You once asked why I helped you. I told you because I knew the rain. Do you still want to know what I meant?" She nodded. His eyes darkened. He looked away, back to the city. "My parents died when I was 10. Car accident. After that, I was passed from one relative to another. Everyone cared about the inheritance, not me. I slept on couches. I ate scraps. I learned what loneliness tastes like." Emily's chest ached. His words painted the same hunger, the same ache she carried. She whispered, "I know how that feels." For the first time, his guarded expression softened. Their eyes met, and in that silence, a fragile bond grew stronger. But shadows still lurked. The mansion staff began whispering when they thought she couldn't hear. "She's too close to him. She doesn't belong here. Watch, she'll take advantage." Emily pretended not to hear. But at night, when she lay in the huge bed, the words tore at her. She wanted to run before she became a burden. One afternoon, while dusting the study shelves, her hand brushed against a photo tucked between books. She pulled it free. A younger Alexander stood beside a woman with kind eyes and a radiant smile. They looked happy, untouched by storms. The frame slipped from her fingers. Glass cracked against the wood floor. At that moment, Alexander entered. His steps froze. His face turned unreadable as he saw the photo in her hands. Emily stammered, I didn't mean to." He took the frame, holding it with a tenderness she had never seen. His jaw tightened. His voice was raw. "She was my wife." Emily's breath caught. "She died 5 years ago," he continued, staring at the picture as if it still breathed. "Cancer. I tried every doctor, every treatment. Nothing saved her. Since then, I trust no one. I let no one close." He looked at Emily, eyes sharp but breaking inside. "Until you." Her lips parted, but no words came. Heat rushed to her chest. He had saved her life, yet she realized she was touching wounds far deeper than her own. That night she could not sleep. She replayed his confession, his voice heavy with grief. She realized the mansion was not a palace. It was a prison of memories. Every wall carried echoes of her. Every silence was her absence. The next morning, the whispers grew louder. She overheard 2 staff members near the kitchen. "She's replacing the mistress of the house. It won't last. He'll come to..." His senses. Emily's hands shook as she carried her plate. She wanted to scream, to explain she had never asked for this, but she stayed silent, swallowing pain as she had always done. Later, she walked into the garden. The air was cool, flowers bending in the breeze. Alexander found her sitting on a bench, knees drawn close, her face pale. "What did they say to you?" His tone was sharp. She shook her head. "Nothing important?" He stepped closer. His voice grew firm. "Tell me." Her eyes filled. "They're right, I don't belong here, everyone can see it, I'm just someone you felt sorry for." For a moment, his face hardened, then his voice cracked with rare emotion. "No, you are wrong. You remind me that I am human, that I can feel again." Her heart pounded. Tears blurred her sight. Alexander reached out but stopped inches away, as if afraid to break the fragile air between them. His words were low, almost a whisper. "Don't run from this, Emily, don't run from me." And for the first time, she realized something terrifying yet beautiful. She was no longer just surviving in his world. She was becoming a part of it. But, deep inside, a question burned. Could a broken girl and a broken man truly heal each other? Or would their scars pull them apart? Emily could not shake the voices. The whispers dug into her chest like thorns. She had lived her whole life unwanted, and even in this mansion that shadow followed. That night, long after the house had gone quiet, she packed the few clothes she owned. She folded them carefully, her hands trembling. She left the warm bed, the shelves of books, the safety she had tasted for the first time in years. She paused by the study door. The fire was still burning faintly. She thought of Alexander's words, "You remind me I can feel again." Her heart ached, but she told herself leaving was the only way to protect him. If she stayed, the world would tear them both apart. At dawn, while the mansion still slept, she slipped out the gates. The guards saw her, but she begged them not to stop her. With her head down, tears blurring her path, she walked back toward the city. Inside, Alexander woke early. His steps led him to the guest room as if by instinct. When he found the bed empty, his chest tightened. He checked the halls. Nothing. Panic surged in him, sharper than anything he had felt in years. He called his driver, but then stopped. No, he would find her himself. He grabbed his keys and stormed out. The Bentley roared to life, tearing down the streets as morning light broke through fading clouds. Emily walked slowly, her bag light but her heart heavy. She reached the street corner where her story with him had begun, the same place where rain had fallen hard, where headlights had stopped, where a hand had reached for hers. She stopped, staring at the ground. Memories flooded her. The warmth of the mansion, the quiet laughter she had once drawn from him, the way his eyes softened only when he looked at her. And yet she whispered to herself, "I don't belong in his world." A horn blared. She looked up. The black Bentley slowed in front of her, the same way it had that night in the rain. Her breath caught. The car door opened. Alexander stepped out, his suit still sharp, but his expression raw. He walked straight to her, the city moving around them. "Emily." His voice shook. She froze. "You shouldn't have come." He stopped in front of her, his chest rising hard, his eyes burning with something she had never seen. "Don't leave me." Her throat closed. She shook her head, tears spilling. "I'll ruin everything. People already talk. I'm not like you. I don't fit in your world." His hand clenched. Then slowly he reached for hers, gripping it with quiet desperation. Listen to me. I built everything out of stone, steel, and glass. But none of it meant anything. Not until you sat in my car, soaked in the rain. You think you don't belong? But you're wrong. You're the only thing real in my world. Emily's lips trembled. I don't want to hurt you. He stepped closer, his voice breaking. Then stay and save me from going back to who I was before you. Her heart pounded. She saw the boy behind the man, the lonely child he once described. She saw the widower who carried grief like chains. And she saw the man who, against all odds, chose her. The city noise faded. All that remained was his hand around hers, warm and steady. Emily swallowed hard, her voice fragile. I'll stay. Alexander's shoulders dropped, relief flooding his face. He pulled her into his arms, holding her tightly as if letting go would mean losing everything. For the first time in years, his walls fell completely. And for the first time in her life, Emily felt wanted. The rising sun spilled golden light over them. The storm that had once separated them had passed. This time, the rain had not broken them. It had brought them together, and from that morning on, they would never face the world alone again.